So, Chaz, in your suit, you claim that you claim that Karen was killed inside the home of Nicole and Brian Alber. What type of investigation have you conducted on your own to determine that actually is the case, that it was in the home? And I guess that includes garage, if that were the case.
Yeah. The complaint sets it all out, Billy. And the complaint is very detailed. And really, it's John O'Keefe's body that dictated and dictates where he was killed. He had lacerations and bruises to his face and his eyes. He had dog bites and scratches on his right arm and forearm. He had a gash in the back of his head from a lead surface, from being assaulted and pushed back, and a gash from a ridged lead surface created that ultimately killed him. Billy, there is no ridged surface on the front lawn at 34 Fairview. And so it's really this evidence that Alan and David Giannetti and that team researched and put together in the criminal defense cases that ended up being the foundation for the civil case. And that speaks, the evidence speaks. I mean, the experts came in the criminal case, and we expect the same experts, if not different ones, to come in and testify about the same things, that these injuries are inconsistent with a car strike, that these injuries are consistent with being assaulted and being attacked by a dog and being pushed back and hit into a ledge ridge.
What's the story with Chloe, the dog? I mean, have you guys, now that you're on offense, have we located Chloe twice removed from Canton?
So I'm glad you mentioned that, and I don't know if Alan's still sitting there, but
yeah,
one of the things that has been, I'm sure, very frustrating to Alan and David in the criminal defense case is that they had an inability to take depositions. There was no depositions as a matter of right. They couldn't subpoena as a matter of right. In other words, they couldn't call people in to sit down at a desk and ask them questions under oath and get their answers, not in front of a jury, but get their answers and then follow up, and then pursue lines of questioning and pursue theories. David and Alan were stuck with whatever the prosecution gave them and whatever the state investigation, the state police investigators gave them. And so they were quite hamstrung, and they did obviously a masterful job in defense, but they were hamstrung in defending Karen because they didn't have all these tools, which is absurd.
Could Judge Beverly Cannoni have herself, executive order just said, of course you can, and change the rules, or did she just keep it that way to keep them hamstrung?
Well, I think Alan can talk more specifically about Judge Cannoni's rulings. From an outsider looking into that criminal case, I know that they tried to pursue statements from these witnesses, evidence from these witnesses, getting subpoenas out. And I know they tried in every effort they could possibly think of to try to get more information. And in most ways, I understand it was unsuccessful. Now, why I bring that up now, Billy? Because we have the opportunity to do that. We're going to sit down with Michael Proctor. We're going to ask him some questions under oath. We're going to sit down with Trooper Buchanan and Tully and Jen McCabe and Matt McCabe and Brian Higgins. And we're going to be able to have them in an office at the other side of a table, asking them questions under oath and being able to follow up and having subpoenas and getting documents. And so this is going to be an entirely different type of case that's going to give us the ability to answer some of these questions that Alan couldn't answer in the criminal case, and we look forward to it.
And what about the dog? I mean, back to Chloe. Have we found Chloe? Is there any way, even if we did find Chloe, would we be able to look at her claws and say, yeah, these are do we have the technology that says those claws made those marks?
I know, Billy. So I don't know where Chloe is right now. We may find Chloe, we may not find Chloe. I don't know. But in raising Chloe, I think you identified some of the real problems and some of the challenges we're going to face with this case. And that is the Massachusetts State Police attacked Karen and focused their entire investigation on Karen. They never went into the house and tried to take, for example, saliva, tracings from Chloe. They never did any investigation on Chloe or trying to match the clear dog bites and scratches on the arm of John O'Keefe to Chloe. They ignored that. And so I understand that the family moved Chloe away and that Chloe is somewhere out of state, but somewhere. And, you know, the real disappointment to Karen, and ultimately it should be for everybody in the community, including the O'Keefe family, is that the state police didn't investigate everybody in that house that they should have. And so while there's this entire investigation, which we think was as alleged, a fraudulent, malicious prosecution, we don't have, on the other hand, an investigation of everybody in the house. And so there is inevitably going to be evidence that we can't recreate, that we can no longer get.